Welcome back to Today we will explore the dramatic developments that are shaking Salem to its core. In today's deeply concerning episode from August 13, 2025, our beloved characters face life-threatening situations, explosive courtroom confrontations, and heart-wrenching personal struggles that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Chad's devastating health crisis. The situation with Chad DiMera has taken an alarming turn that has everyone in Salem deeply worried. What started as a simple act of kindness, taking care of Cat Green when she fell ill with what appeared to be a common virus, has now escalated into a potentially life-threatening medical emergency. Chad, who has always been the pillar of strength for his family, is now fighting for his own survival on the living room sofa, his body racked with fever and complications that have doctors seriously concerned about his prognosis. The medical professionals attending to Chad have revealed that his condition has deteriorated far beyond what anyone initially anticipated. Sources close to the DiMera family indicate that Chad's immune system, already compromised from the stress of recent family upheavals and emotional trauma, has been unable to fight off the aggressive strain that Cat unknowingly passed to him during their intimate moment. The passionate kiss they shared, which seemed so romantic at the time, has now become the potential catalyst for what could be Chad's most dangerous health battle yet. What makes this situation even more heart-wrenching is the irony of the circumstances. Chad, who has always been the caretaker, the one rushing to help others in their time of need, is now completely dependent on others for his basic survival. The strong, capable businessman who has weathered countless DiMera family storms is now reduced to a fragile state where every breath is a struggle, and every hour brings new complications that have medical experts scrambling to find solutions. The severity of Chad's condition has prompted emergency consultations with Salem's top medical specialists, who are working around the clock to understand why this particular strain has affected him so severely. Preliminary reports suggest that Chad may be dealing with a rare complication that occurs in less than 1% of cases, where the virus attacks not just the respiratory system but begins to compromise vital organ function. The medical team has expressed grave concerns about potential cardiac involvement, which could explain why Chad's condition has become so critical so quickly. Cat's desperate fight to save Chad in a stunning reversal of roles. Cat Green has now become Chad's primary caregiver, and the weight of responsibility is crushing her spirit. The woman who was recently on the receiving end of Chad's tender care is now facing the terrifying possibility that her illness may have triggered a medical crisis that could cost Chad his life. Cat has barely left Chad's side, monitoring his vital signs, administering medications, and providing the constant care that his deteriorating condition demands. The emotional toll on Cat is becoming increasingly apparent to everyone around her. She blames herself entirely for Chad's current state, believing that if she had been more careful, if she had maintained better distance, if she had recognized the severity of her own illness sooner, Chad would not be fighting for his life. This guilt is consuming her, and those close to the situation report that Cat has been barely eating or sleeping, instead devoting every ounce of her energy to Chad's recovery. Medical professionals have had to repeatedly reassure Cat that she is not medically trained and that Chad's care should be left to the experts, but she refuses to leave his side. Her dedication has been both touching and concerning, as healthcare workers worry that Cat's own health could be compromised if she continues to neglect her own needs while caring for Chad. The irony that Cat, who was recently recovering from the same illness, is now the primary source of comfort and care for Chad has not been lost on anyone in Salem. Cat has been working closely with Chad's medical team, learning how to monitor his oxygen levels, track his temperature fluctuations, and recognize the warning signs that could indicate his condition is worsening. Her transformation from someone who was barely functioning due to her own illness to someone who has become an expert caregiver in a matter of days has been remarkable to witness, though it comes at an enormous personal cost. The escalating EJ and Marina courtroom showdown while Chad fights for his life. The courtroom drama between EJ DiMera and Marlena Evans has reached unprecedented levels of intensity that are sending shockwaves throughout Salem's legal community. EJ's decision to serve Marlena with a subpoena represents a calculated legal maneuver that has crossed lines many thought he would never dare to cross. This bold move has transformed what was already a contentious trial into an all-out war that threatens to destroy relationships and expose secrets that were meant to stay buried forever. The hypnosis session that Marina conducted with EJ has yielded information that could completely change the trajectory of Johnny's trial, but it has also put Marina in an impossible position. As a respected psychiatrist, Marina understands the ethical implications of testifying about confidential therapeutic sessions, but as a grandmother who loves Johnny, she is torn between her professional obligations and her family loyalties. EJ's subpoena has essentially forced her hand, eliminating her ability to simply refuse to testify and placing her in a legal bind that could have far-reaching consequences for her career and reputation. The revelation that EJ now remembers his attacker was a woman has sent investigators scrambling to re-examine every piece of evidence in the case. This new information doesn't just potentially exonerate Johnny. It opens up entirely new avenues of investigation that could implicate other beloved Salem residents. The fact that EJ's recovered memory points to a female shooter has created a list of potential suspects that includes some of the most respected women in Salem, raising questions about who could have been desperate enough to attempt murder. EJ's legal strategy has become increasingly ruthless as the stakes continue to rise. His willingness to subpoena his former mother-in-law demonstrates just how far he is prepared to go to save his son, even if it means burning bridges with people who have shown him kindness and support in the past. This decision has revealed the true extent of EJ's desperation and his willingness to sacrifice any relationship, no matter how important, if it means keeping Johnny out of prison. Belle's fury and legal expertise come into play. Belle Black's reaction to EJ's latest legal maneuvering has been nothing short of explosive, and her fury is reverberating throughout Salem's legal community. The woman who once shared intimate moments with EJ is now seeing him in an entirely different light, recognizing the ruthless manipulator that has always lurked beneath his charming exterior. Her anger isn't just about the subpoena. It's about what EJ's actions represent in terms of his character and his willingness to exploit personal relationships for legal advantage. The legal advice that Belle is providing to Tate and Holly regarding the adoption situation has become even more crucial as new complications arise. Belle's expertise in family law makes her uniquely qualified to help the young couple navigate the increasingly complex legal landscape surrounding Sophia's pregnancy and the proposed adoption. Her guidance could be the key to helping Tate understand his rights as a potential father and the legal implications of the adoption process. Belle's professional reputation and her personal relationships with the families involved give her insights that other attorneys might not possess. She understands the emotional dynamics at play, the family histories that could influence decisions, and the legal precedents that could affect the outcome of any custody or adoption proceedings. Her advice to Tate and Holly isn't just about the law. It's about helping them understand how their decisions now could affect their lives for years to come. The timing of Belle's involvement in Tate and Holly's situation is particularly significant given the emotional turmoil she is experiencing due to EJ's betrayal. Her desire to help young people navigate complex legal and personal situations may be partly motivated by her need to focus on something positive and constructive while she processes her own feelings about EJ's actions. Sophia's emotional breakdown and confession to Ari. The pressure surrounding the adoption has finally become too much for Sophia Choi to bear alone, and her decision to confide in Ari Horton represents a crucial turning point in this complex storyline. Sophia's emotional state has been deteriorating steadily as the reality of her situation becomes more apparent, and the weight of the secrets she has been carrying is finally overwhelming her ability to cope. The conversations between Sophia and Ari have taken on new significance as Sophia struggles with doubts about the adoption that she has been unable to voice to anyone else. Ari's role as a friend and confidant has become more important than ever, as Sophia desperately needs someone she can trust with her deepest fears and concerns about the future. The bond between these two young women is being tested as Sophia grapples with decisions that will affect not just her own life, but the lives of everyone around her. Sophia's internal conflict about the adoption is becoming more pronounced with each passing day. The theoretical idea of giving up her baby seemed manageable when the pregnancy was just beginning, but as she approaches her due date, the emotional reality of separation is hitting her with full force. Her conversations with Ari reveal a young woman who is terrified of making the wrong decision and equally terrified of the consequences of changing her mind at this late stage. The complexity of Sophia's emotions is further complicated by her ongoing feelings for Tate and her jealousy regarding his relationship with Holly. Her desire to do what's best for the baby is constantly battling with her hope that somehow this situation could bring her and Tate closer together, creating an internal emotional storm that is becoming impossible for her to navigate alone. Holly and Tate's relationship under unprecedented pressure. The relationship between Holly and Tate is being tested in ways that neither of them could have anticipated when they first fell in love. The pregnancy situation has created a complex dynamic that forces both of them to confront adult responsibilities and make decisions that will affect their entire futures. The pressure of the situation is revealing both the strength and the vulnerabilities in their relationship as they struggle to maintain their connection while dealing with circumstances beyond their control. The intimate moments that Holly and Tate are sharing are taking on new significance as they try to hold onto their relationship despite the chaos surrounding them. Their decision to spend time together in Tate's bedroom represents their attempt to create a private space where they can be just teenagers in love, away from the adult complications that threaten to overwhelm them. These moments of intimacy are precious to them because they represent a connection to who they were before the pregnancy situation changed everything. The legal advice they are seeking from Belle reflects their growing understanding that their relationship is now intertwined with legal and financial responsibilities that will affect them for years to come. Their youth makes these conversations particularly poignant, as they are being forced to think about concepts like custody, child support, and parental rights at an age when most teenagers are worried about college applications and summer plans. The strain on their relationship is becoming more apparent as they each struggle with their own fears and uncertainties about the future. Holly's confidence in their ability to work through the situation is being challenged by the reality of how complicated their lives have become, while Tate is grappling with the weight of potential fatherhood and what that means for his relationship with Holly and his own future plans. Next, the unlikely twist in Chad and Kat's story. From a simple kiss to a heartfelt debt, life in Salem is rarely dull, but sometimes it's the smallest gestures. An innocent kiss, a shared moment, that set in motion a chain of events no one could have predicted. This week, it's Kat and Chad who find themselves in an unexpected reversal of roles, and the drama surrounding them is both tender and a little suspicious. From caretaker to patient only a few days ago, Chad was the picture of devotion. When Kat came down with a sudden, unpleasant illness, he stepped in without hesitation. He made sure she had everything she needed. Soup that was always warm, a blanket tucked around her shoulders, and a steady supply of reassuring words. In Salem, friendships and even budding romances are often tested in moments like these, and Chad passed that test with flying colors. But now the tables have turned. Chad isn't looking quite so steady on his feet. His normally strong, confident demeanor is replaced by a pale face, tired eyes, and the occasional wince that says he's not feeling his best. And that brings us to the pressing question. Is Chad sick because of the same bug that had Kat bedridden earlier this week? Or is there something else at play? The kiss that changed everything. It's impossible to ignore the timing. Not long ago, Kat planted a kiss on Chad. Was it purely a friendly gesture, a thank you for all he had done? Or was it something deeper, the kind of kiss meant to test unspoken feelings? Whatever the intention, the aftermath has been dramatic. Chad began feeling ill soon after, and Kat now finds herself in a position she likely didn't expect, nursing him back to health. Repaying a debt? Or something more? If this is the same illness Kat had, then what's happening is simple. Chad caught it from her, and she's simply doing the right thing by taking care of him in return. It's the sort of fairness most of us were raised to understand. You help someone, they help you. No fuss, no ulterior motives. But if Chad's ailment is something else entirely, things become more complicated. Was Kat's sudden eagerness to be at his side really about gratitude? Or was she taking advantage of his weakened state to get closer to him emotionally? Salem has a way of blurring the lines between kindness and manipulation, and those who watch closely know that even the sweetest gesture can carry hidden intentions. Kat's dilemma on the surface. Kat seems genuine. She's fluffing his pillows, making tea, and fussing over him like any good friend or potential romantic partner would. But every now and then, her eyes linger just a little too long. Her voice softens in a way that feels almost rehearsed. Is this simply how Kat expresses affection? Or is she carefully building a deeper connection while Chad is too tired to notice? And then there's the matter of the kiss. Was it just a playful, heat-of-the-moment thing? Or a calculated move? The people of Salem have learned to question timing, and this kiss, followed so quickly by Chad's sudden sickness, has set tongues wagging. The risk of getting too close illnesses in Salem rarely stay private for long. A shared cold can quickly become a shared storyline, and speculation is running wild. If Kat did pass something to Chad with that kiss, then her role in his current misery is undeniable, though perhaps unintentional. But the bigger story might be what this caretaking arrangement does to their relationship. Proximity has a way of deepening bonds, especially when one person is vulnerable and the other is doting on them. For Chad, this is a moment of trust. Allowing someone to see you at your weakest, feverish, tired, and perhaps a little cranky, is no small thing. And for Kat, it's an opportunity to show her loyalty, or, for those inclined to see it that way, to take advantage of the moment.